Hey, hello you guys. I have some romance book recommendations for you today. Also, I don't have a lot of the physical books here because I've listened to the audiobooks or just read like the Kindle version of a lot of these books on this list, but I do have a little stack over here of the ones that I do have. So anyways, let's get started. So the first one on this list is Out of the Woods by Hannah. I'm not sure how to say her last name. I really like this one because this is the second book I've read of hers, by the way, and I did like the other one as well. But this one was a little bit of a different perspective on a romance novel. Instead of like having a like meet cute and falling in love and getting married at the end of the book or whatever. This book follows the two main characters who are already married and have been for like 10 years. They're like high school sweethearts. And this story just follows them on like they go on this couples retreat with a bunch of other different couples, and it's like a therapy retreat as well, and they just like learn about each other in like different ways they've never seen before, and I don't know, get through like some like rough things together. And it's just like, I don't know, a really different take on a romance novel than you usually read. And I just think that's really interesting. And that's also why this one is first on this list because it's just so different. Okay, next we have Forget Me Not by Julie Soto. This one is told in the past and present storylines, which I always love that. So this book follows Anna, who is a wedding planner, and she goes to work for the celebrity couple planning their wedding, and we get to see how she works with like her coworkers, and there's like old tension with like one of the guys and everything. But I just think this one is so interesting too because she's a wedding planner, which usually you see, oh, the wedding is like the big thing at the end of the novel, they get married, whatever. But this one follows her like while she's like working, which I think is just so interesting. Okay, next we have The Night We Met by Abby Jimenez. I'm not sure how to say her last name either. This one is kind of a boyfriend's best friend trope, but also a second chance, maybe. I don't know. But this book asks the question, like, what if things had been different? It's really good. I love like a lot of her books. They have Acting Married by Victorine. I'm not sure how to say her last name either. But this one is a fake dating book, obviously. And usually I'm not like super, super into the fake dating trope, but I feel like if it's done in a certain way and like done good, then I will like it. But this book follows Tara, who works for a celebrity as his cleaner, as like his maid. And then she pretends to be married to him for a publicity stunt for him. Well, she gets a bunch of money from it, and she's also a single mom, by the way. And so yeah, they act married, and I don't want to spoil anything else, but yeah. Okay, next I have this one here. This is Just Friends. If you watch any book videos, you probably know Haley Pham. She's like an influencer. I don't know, I want to call her that, but like she's pretty famous. And this is her debut novel. So this is a childhood friends to lovers romance, which is one of my favorite tropes. So this book follows Blair, who moves back to her hometown, and there's like a lot of things going on with her family. So it's really interesting to always see like, I don't know, parents, grandparents, like sibling relationships done well in a romance book too. It's not all just about that one relationship. But she goes back to her hometown, reconnects with some people, and we just kind of see how that all unravels. And yeah, this book is also really cute, by the way. It has like these little illustrations on all of the front chapter pages, which is just so cute. Next, I have One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid, which I wanted to show you guys. I'm actually reading another one of her books right now, Maybe in Another Life, which is also sort of magical realism. But I'm also really liking this one. I'm almost done with it. But this one on this list, One True Loves, follows Emma. So her ex-boyfriend, and this isn't spoiling anything, but her ex-boyfriend Jesse disappears and is assumed dead for 3 years. So now we're 3 years later, and she moves back to her hometown, gets engaged to one of her childhood friends, and then her boyfriend from before, that's assumed dead, comes back. And so we just explore her through these decisions in her life. What is she going to do? How is all this going to happen? Have This Time Next Year by Sophie Cowsons. I've read one or two of her other books before, and I really like those ones as well. But this one interested me because it follows the two main characters who were both born on New Year's Day, which, if you haven't watched like my baby and pregnancy videos, my daughter's due date was actually New Year's Day, but she was born a few days before. She was born on Christmas. But her due date was actually January 1st, so this book was like intriguing me. But this follows Minnie and Quinn, who were both born on New Year's Day in the same hospital, and like their mothers were friends. And then they meet again in their adult lives and just explore just how different their lives are and different relationships and like their mothers, how they met, they became friends, and I just think it's so interesting. This one I have on this list is How to Not Fall for the Guy Next Door by Meg Easton. This is a romantic comedy. This book is like just very fun and just so a childhood friends to lovers trope, which again is one of my favorites. And so this book follows Addison and Ian, who recently both come out of long relationships, and they just happen to run into each other and keep running into each other, and they just have like such good chemistry. Sometimes you just get those books where it's like the characters are just they can talk to each other, it's so natural, like, and this is definitely one of those books. So yeah. Okay, anyways, I hope you guys like this video and like my recommendations. As always, these videos, my Goodreads link is in the description, so you can like go follow me on there and you can see, what I'm reading now, how I like actually rate all these books in my review. This is just a little bit about all of them. Yeah, so I will see you guys next time. Bye.